Welcome. We'll begin in a comfortable seated position. So I invite you to find some props, maybe a couple pillows, which is what I have, or a block or a bolster, a meditation cushion if you have one, so that your hips are elevated above your knees. This helps to relieve some of the pressure in the lower back. It helps the hips to soften. So sitting just on the edge of your props, rooting down into your sitting bones, allowing your hips to release, and crossing one ankle in front of the other so that the circulation, the blood can flow all the way down to your toes. And from your rooted seat, invite the spine to grow taller, taking out any curvature in the lower back by gently engaging the abdomen, feeling the lift up from the heart space, and gently stacking the shoulders over the hips. And feeling the length continue all the way up through the crown of the head, relaxing your shoulders down the back, and finding a position that's alert yet relaxed, strong yet soft, steady and easeful. If you'd like, you can close your eyes down here, just taking a few moments to tune into your breath, allowing the breath to be the connection to your body, to what is present. So inviting a conscious breath in to guide you back into this now moment, to fully arrive in your body and fully arrive for your practice. Allowing the breath to travel in and out of the nose, and working to cultivate a balanced breath. Bringing the inhale and the exhale to the same length, so that the breath is balanced and in harmony. We're receiving equally as we're giving. And noticing too what happens when we focus the mind on the breath. Allow everything else to gently fall away. Any thoughts or emotions or worries. Allowing the breath to continue guiding you closer and closer to a feeling of center. And we'll keep this breath with us throughout our practice, steady and conscious. And gently warm up the body with some neck rolls. So first lowering the right ear to the right shoulder, allowing the chin to roll down into the chest and bringing the left ear over to the left shoulder. And we'll come back the same way, chin rolls down into the chest, bringing the right ear over to the right shoulder. And you can continue back and forth like this a few times, moving slowly and mindfully to work out any tensions that you may find there. So feeling free to pause anywhere you need to invite an extra breath, some extra space to move into. We'll end on the opposite side we started on, and then find your way back up to neutral, elongating the spine once more. Now take the shoulders up to the ears, roll them forward, down, and back around again. Few times like this to lubricate the shoulder joint, get the blood flowing there, open the chest, releasing tension that accumulates there. And then we'll switch directions, lifting them up, rolling them back, down and around again. Feeling an opening across the chest as we do so, and being sure to breathe fully into that space. And then returning to neutral. Now we'll take the whole upper body in some circles around the base of the spine. So keeping the seat rooted, allowing the upper body to be fluid. Just moving around, feeling the undulation of the spine, getting the blood to flow into the lower back and into the hips. So being sure to continue your conscious breath. And then we'll switch directions, rolling around the other way. And when that movement feels balanced, you can spiral your way back up through center, again finding a nice tall spine. And with an inhale, we'll reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. So allow the hands to come down to the earth and gently walk yourself closer to the earth. Maybe you come onto the forearms, maybe not, maybe it's deeper. There's no destination in mind here. So remembering we're just warming up the body, so doing what feels right for you. And we're moving into these shapes without any force. So making sure the breath is still fluid and open, that our body and minds feel calm as we hold these shapes. Maybe give your head a couple shakes here, loosening up again any tension in the neck, feeling that freedom to moving the body however feels good. We'll take our last exhale here. On your inhale, we'll slowly walk the hands back in towards the shins. Roll the spine up one vertebra at a time and allow the arms to reach all the way up to the sky. Exhale, circle the hands behind you. Plant the palms onto the earth. Fingers forward if you can. And take a big inhale to lift the heart up. Exhale, hold here. Gentle counter pose. Fill the chest with your breath. One more inhale. And exhale, gently release. We'll cross the other leg in front. So coming back to cross legs, balancing out the shape on the other side. We'll take an inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the sky. And exhale, hinge from the hips. We'll fold forward again. Gently guiding yourself, supporting yourself as you make your way closer to the earth. We'll hold here, continuing to breathe. Putting a little engagement into the palms to push the hips down and back into the earth. So we want to stay rooted there. And then allowing the natural decompression of your spine as we hang here nice and heavy in the head, neck, and shoulders. Take another breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, slowly walk the hands back in towards the shins. Again, roll the spine up nice and slowly. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky. And then exhale, hands come behind you. Plant the palms down again, fingers forward. Take an inhale to lift the heart up. Exhale, holding here, kissing the shoulder blades together. Take one more inhale. And exhale, gently release. So we'll move into our tabletop position. You can go ahead and roll over the knees and come to all fours, facing the top of your mat. So strong foundational pose here. Let's take a moment to find our alignment. We want to stack our joints for ease and stability here. So the shoulders are over the wrists. The fingers are spread nice and wide. We're gripping the earth with our palms. The knees are beneath the hips and the knees are hip distance apart. We find a nice flat back here. So gentle engagement of the belly. Reach back with the tailbone and reach forward with the crown of the head. Press down through the tops of the feet. And we'll link our breath and movement together here. So take an inhale, arch the spine, look up, lift your tailbone. Exhale, round the spine, chin comes to the chest, tuck the tailbone. And again, inhale, arch the spine, look up, stretch the front of the body. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, navel draws in. A few more times like that. Take a long breath in, lengthening the spine, and a long breath out, expanding the back of the body. So you can continue following your breath with this up and down motion, or you can start to find some organic movements if you want to explore the movement of the spine a bit more, stretch into any little kinks or tensions you're finding. You can make some circles with the body, move the hips and shoulders around. Again, whatever feels good and allows you to gently warm up without any strain. So whatever movements you do, make sure to balance them evenly on both sides. And then we'll find our way back to neutral tabletop. From here, take an inhale, shift the body weight forward so the shoulders come in front of the wrists. As you exhale, bend the elbows, squeezing them into the rib cage as you lower the chin and chest to the earth. Hips stay lifted. On your inhale, sliding into low cobra, lifting the heart up, extending the legs. Exhale, press into the palms, send the hips back to the heels for child's pose. And there's a few variations in child's pose. You can take it with the knees together, allowing the upper thighs to support the spine. Or you can take the knees wide with the big toes touching, allowing the upper body to settle in between the legs. And wherever you find comfort and ease, know that this is a place you may return to at any point in your practice. A place to reconnect with the breath, to ground back into the body, and return to your place of center. We'll take another couple breaths here. On your next inhale, we'll shift forward into tabletop, coming back to all fours. Curl your toes under and exhale, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. So downward facing dog is an inverted V shape. Gentle inversion, very challenging pose actually. Our whole body is active here, stretching and strengthening. So find a breath that supports that. Nice deep breaths here. It might take a little more effort now that we're upside down. And we'll take about 10 breath cycles to warm up this pose. So I like to bend one knee and lower the opposite heel. We can switch sides, lower the opposite heel, bend the opposite knee. And you can pedal your feet back and forth like that a few times, stretching more deeply into the calves, the hamstrings. Maybe you move your hips a little bit side to side as you do this, stretching more into the hips and the side body. And then shaking your head, yes, no, maybe. Loosening up any tension in the neck. So we want our neck to be neutral. Our ears are landing just between the biceps.
settle into stillness in this shape. Fully activate the palms. So spread the fingers nice and wide. Push the earth away from you so that the energy starts to move up the body, keeping you lifted. So imagine the energy pulling up the spine, up the hips, up through the tailbone. And then energy flowing down the backs of the legs, grounding you through your heels. And it's okay if they don't touch the ground. It may even be helpful to keep the knees bent here so that you can keep nice extension for the lower back. We want to take out any curvature there. Let's try holding here another breath as we find our expression of this shape. Good. Now we'll take an inhale, roll forward into plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees. Untuck your toes, shift the weight forward, bend your elbows, lower the chin and chest to the earth. Inhale, low cobra, maybe a little bit higher this time, pressing into the palms. Exhale, push back onto the knees, curl your toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So we'll keep that variation that we just practiced a couple times when we move into our sun salutations. It's offering a more gentle variation for sun salutations, be a little bit more accessible. So from here, we'll slowly walk our feet up towards our hands, making our way to a standing forward fold at the top of the mat. Let's keep the knees bent, maybe a little, maybe a lot, to help release any pressure in the backs of the legs, any strain in the lower back. We can keep our feet about hip distance apart or maybe a little wider if that feels better for you. And we can take opposite elbows here so that we can make sure we're hanging nice and heavy with the head, neck, and shoulders, allowing full decompression of the spine and maybe a little bit of movement side to side. Just gently swaying it out. Giving the head a couple shakes. Maybe shifting the weight forward and back in the feet, seeing what that feels like. And then releasing the elbows as you're ready. Keep the knees bent, spread your toes, press into all corners of the feet, keeping the arches lifted. We'll slowly start to roll up one vertebra at a time. Maybe taking a couple breaths to arrive in Tadasana, standing mountain pose. Give the shoulders a lift all the way up to the ears, roll them down the back, the palms flip open. So coming to the top of your mat in Tadasana, big toes touching, heels slightly apart, or the feet can be hip distance apart. Lengthen the tailbone down, soften the shoulders. We'll activate Ujjayi Pranayama here. So breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, slight constriction of the throat to help regulate the flow of energy through the body so that our sun salutations and the rest of our practice, we can sustain our energy through dynamic movement. We'll begin with a couple half sun salutations to warm up the body, to warm up the breath, and to link breath and movement as one. So let's take a breath together here. Inhale and exhale. On your inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Gaze follows. Exhale, hinge at the hips, we'll fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway in length and belly in, heart forward. Exhale, release, standing forward fold. Knees stay gently bent. We'll take an inhale, coming up with a flat back, arms reaching all the way up to the sky, gaze follows. Exhale through center, back to Tadasana. Take a breath in and a breath out. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, arms come up to the sky. Lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, hinge at the hips, we'll fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen, belly in, tailbone back. Exhale, standing forward, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, coming all the way up with the flat back, strong through the core, lengthen here, and then exhale through center Tadasana. We'll add on for some modified sun salutation A. Take a breath in together and a breath out. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the sky, gaze follows. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway and lengthen. Heart forward, shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, place the hands down, step back to plank pose and lower knees, chest, and chin. Same breath out. Inhale, low cobra, lift the heart up. Exhale, push back onto the knees, curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. And remember that the breath leads the way, so allowing your body and breath to catch up. Allow the breath to initiate the movement. We'll take one more breath in together and a full breath out. Inhale, come up onto your toes. Bend the knees, look forward, exhale. And inhale, step up to the top of your mat. Lift up halfway and lengthen. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, coming all the way up, reverse swan dive. Extended Tadasana, arms reaching, and then exhale through center Tadasana. One more time like that. Breathe in and out. Inhale, arms reach all the way up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway and lengthen. Exhale, hands to the earth, step back to plank and lower, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, low cobra, lift the heart up. Exhale, push back onto your knees, curl your toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. And continue being curious about your downward dog, allowing it to change and transform throughout your practice, finding new places to move into, more extension, more breath. We'll take one more here. Inhale, come up onto your toes. Exhale, bend the knees and look forward. Inhale, step up to the top of your mat. Halfway lift and lengthen. And exhale, standing forward, fold. Inhale with a flat back, coming all the way up, strong through the core. Arms reach up to the sky. And exhale through center Tadasana. Okay, we'll add on with the sun salutation B. Let's take a breath in together. And a breath out. On your inhale, we'll come into chair pose, Utkatasana, hips down, arms up. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway and lengthen, hands to the shins. Exhale, step back to plank pose and lower, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale to cobra, maybe coming up a little bit higher. And exhale, downward facing dog. We'll step the right foot forward between the hands. Spin the back heel down, 45 degrees. Take an inhale, come all the way up, warrior one. Exhale here. So we'll hold this warrior one for a few breaths to find our alignment. You can take the feet a little bit wider in your stance so that you have space for the hips to work towards square, towards the front of the mat.
You release any arching in the lower back. That may mean backing out of the pose a little bit so you can extend the tailbone down, draw the low belly in, front ribs in, shoulders soften, gaze is soft. Got an energy through the palms. So holding it here centered. Let's take another breath in and another breath out. Inhale. Exhale, release the hands to frame the right foot. Step back to plank pose and lower knees, chest and chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward between the hands, spin the back heel down about 45 degrees. Inhale, come all the way up to warrior one pose. Exhale, bending into the left knee. So stacking the left knee over the left ankle. So maybe take a gaze down, notice if it's coming in or out and try to stabilize it there, lifting through the inner arches. Grounding through the outer edge of the back foot. And staying strong through the core, heart lifting up. Keep the breath steady. We'll take another breath in and a full breath out. Inhale. And exhale, release the hands to frame the left foot. Step back to plank pose and lower knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. Try to slow the breath down so the movements too can become more slow, controlled, and mindful. Good. Inhale, come up onto your toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. And inhale to the top of your mat, lifting up halfway to find length in the spine. And then exhale to fold deeper. Inhale to chair pose, Utkatasana. Weight in the heels and hips, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale through center, Tadasana. Moving on to standing sequence one. Let's take a breath in together and a breath out. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the sky, lift your gaze, spiral the heart open. Exhale, fold forward here. Inhale, lift up halfway and lengthen. And exhale, step back to downward facing dog. From here, we'll take an inhale, lift the right leg all the way up to the sky. Exhale, step the right foot forward between the hands. Spin the back heel down so the back foot's parallel with the short edge of the mat. We'll inhale, come all the way up to warrior two pose. Okay, so bending into the right knee over the right ankle, and the left heel is running into the left arch of the foot or the left heel. The gaze is soft and steady over the right fingertips. And the arms are a beautiful extension of the energy of the heart. So keep the energy radiating out through the fingertips. We'll lengthen the tailbone down. Activate the low belly. Good, keep breathing. Another breath in and another breath out, maybe sinking down a little lower. Then with an inhale, extend the right leg. Engage the thighs, exhale, reach forward, hinge at the right hip, and we'll come into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Right hand to the right shin or a block or the earth. Left arm reaches all the way up to the sky. So the gaze can be down at the mat for grounding, or if your neck is sensitive, it can be neutral or all the way up. Working towards stacking our hips here, stacking our shoulders. Both sides of the waist remain long. So finding that, maybe backing out a little bit to find some length for the right side body. Breathing fully into the ribs. We'll take one last breath out. Grounding through your feet. On your inhale, we'll come all the way up using our core. Reverse Trikonasana. Left hand to the back of the left thigh. Right arm reaches up and back. Side body stretch. And then exhale, extended side angle pose. Rebend the right knee. Place the right forearm on top of the right thigh. Left arm reaches alongside the left ear. So we have a long line of energy from the outer edge of the left foot all the way through the left fingertips. So feeling that extension from both sides. The left shoulder is creating space for the neck. The right is as well. So notice if you're scrunching up in the right shoulder, press down in the forearm to lift up out of the right shoulder. And create a little bit more space to breathe into. Good, last breath out here. Okay, legs stay the same. On the inhale, the upper body flows back into reverse warrior. Left arm to the back of the left thigh, right arm reaches up and back. Exhale, cartwheel both hands down to frame the right foot, and we'll step back, downward facing dog. Yogi's choice to hold here a couple breaths, or find child's pose, or move through a vinyasa. And then we'll do the second side. So finding your way back to downward dog if you're not already there. And on your next inhale, we'll take the left leg all the way up to the sky. Exhale, step the left foot forward between the hands. Back heel spins down, so the right foot's parallel with the short edge of the mat. We'll take an inhale, cartwheel the arms open into warrior two on the left side. Exhale, bending into the left knee. Okay, checking your arms, making sure they're shoulder height, energy through the fingertips. Checking your feet, making sure we have a strong, solid foundation. Stacking our joints for ease and stability. Tailbone long, shoulders stacked over the hips. We'll hold here another breath in and out. Inhale, re-extend the left leg. Engage the thigh, exhale, reach forward, find length for the side body. Then hinge from the left hip, left hand comes down to the left shin, the mat or a block, right arm reaches all the way up to the sky. So wherever that left hand is, very little weight there. We're really using the strength of our legs here for stability, as well as the strength of the core to create a sense of floating here. Requiring a bit of effort, but at the same time breathing ease into the shape. Another breath in and out. Press through the feet on your inhale. Engage the core. Come all the way up. Reverse Trikonasana. Right hand to the back of the right thigh. Left arm reaches back. And then exhale. Rebend the left knee. Extended side angle pose. Left forearm to the top of the left thigh. Right arm reaches alongside the right ear with the palm facing down. So noticing if you have all your weight in the front leg. See if you can engage the back leg. Balance out the energy there. Pressing into the outer edge of the right foot. And then from there, peeling the right hip open, the right shoulder open. Maybe lifting your gaze up. And take another breath in and out. Okay, legs stay steady, grounded. Take an inhale, upper body floats up. Right hand to the back of the right leg, left arm reaches up and back. Reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel both hands down to frame the left foot. And we'll step back, downward facing dog. Okay, yogi's choice. Stay here, take child's pose, or follow along through a vinyasa. Inhaling forward into plank. Exhale, lower the knees, the chest and the chin. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, we'll lift the right leg all the way up to the sky.
Exhale, keep it lifted. We'll roll the right hip open so it stacks on top of the left and bend the right knee. So gentle hip opener here, trying to keep the upper body the same. So the shoulders are square, the neck is neutral, just holding another breath. Good, and then on your inhale, re-extend the right leg, square the hips. Exhale, bring the right knee into the chest. Pause for just a moment so we can mindfully place our shin down the top of the mat, preparing for pigeon pose. So the right shin can be more tucked if your hips are feeling tight. If you're feeling more open, maybe that right shin's more parallel with the top of your mat. You can take a peek over the left shoulder. Try to keep the left heel in line with the left hip. And if you want some added support, or if you feel like your hips are unlevel, you can place a little pillow or bolster, a blanket underneath your right hip. We want our hips to remain level here. So take a nice big inhale, feeling a gentle spiral up of the heart. And then with an exhale, gently walking yourself down. So maybe you stay on your palms. If it's available, maybe coming down to your forearms or deeper if you have the space. So using your breath as the barometer, if you notice that the breath starts to become strained or tight or uneven, maybe we back out a little bit, reestablish the breath, create space in the body, and then gently move into it. So we'll hold this pose about 10 breaths. Of course, if it ever becomes too much, you may release gently and make your way to child's pose. And take your last couple breaths here. And then carefully on your inhale, start to walk yourself out, coming back up onto the palms, lifting the chest back up. Planting the palms into the mat, spread your fingers nice and wide. From here, you can curl your left toes under, push into the palms, and gently shift yourself back into tabletop. Just take a moment here to move your hips side to side. Recalibrate your hips. And we'll prepare for the second side. So when you're ready, curl your toes under, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, we'll lift the left leg all the way up to the sky. Keeping it lifted, exhale, bend the left knee, stack the left hip on top of right. And gently guide the left shoulder back down so it's even with the right. Left knee lifting, right heel working towards grounding to the earth. We'll take our final breath. Inhale, re-extend the left leg, square the hips. Exhale, bring the left knee into the chest. Just a moment to pause and gently release the left shin to the earth. Extend the back leg and untuck the toes. Okay, so finding a shape that works for you, that allows your hip to open but without any force or becoming injurious to the body. So usually it's nice to have a little prop underneath the left hip here to keep the hips even and level. We'll take a big inhale, invite the heart to open
open to receive this shape. And exhale, slowly walking the hands down to the earth. And coming to a place where you can still breathe fully. And maybe that place changes over the time that we're holding this pose. At some point you may need to back out a little bit, or perhaps even go deeper. So continue listening to your breath, checking in with yourself, honoring where you are, and knowing that there's no expectation, no place that you need to reach. Just a few more breaths here. On your next inhale, and gently coming up, so nice and slow through this transition. Be really mindful of any tender places in the body. Coming back up onto the palms, chest lifted, and curl the right toes under. Gently push down into the palms to lift up, and sliding your knee back into tabletop. And just a moment to reset the hips here, shifting them a little bit side to side. Inviting the breath to open back up. From here, we'll take an inhale. Curl your toes under. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and a full breath out, sighing through the mouth. Good, one more time like that, in through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. And bringing your breath back into balance, slowing it down. Let's take an inhale, come up onto your toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Step or hop up into Malasana Yogic Squat. So coming up halfway on your mat, in the middle of your mat, feet come wide, and toes point out about 45 degrees. So we're trying to get our heels to connect with the earth. So that may mean you need to bring your feet a little bit wider, or that may mean you need to bring a little folded blanket underneath the heels for support. You can keep your hands down on the earth for support as well. I know this is a very tender, maybe vulnerable position, really deep hip work here. So kind of taking some of that pressure off by supporting your weight with your hands. Or if you feel ready, you can place all the weight into your feet, grounding through all corners, keeping the inner arches lifted, and perhaps bringing the hands together in front of the heart center. And gently using your elbows to guide the knees open, inviting the breath fully into your hips, into the pelvic floor. We lengthen the tailbone down, lift the heart up, lifting the heart up to meet this prayer. Let's take one more breath in here. Gently exhale, release the hands if they're up. Place them back behind you and gently guide your seat to the earth. We'll extend the legs forward. So preparing for seated forward fold. We want to ground down through our seat here. And if you know you have really tight hamstrings or tension in the lower back, you may again want to place a blanket or a pillow underneath your hips for a little support. You can keep your legs extended or a little bend or a big bend again to take some of that tension out. Stacking the shoulders over the hips, we'll take an inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hinge from the hips, we'll fold here. Place the hands on the mat alongside the legs, wherever's available. And we find our breath here. So the inhale guides us forward from the heart space. The exhale invites us to fold deeper. So notice the shoulders don't need to do any of the work here. The goal isn't necessarily to touch our toes, right? We want the shoulders relaxed away from the ears, the shoulder blades gliding down our back. And working towards taking any curvature out of the low back. So with each inhale, find some length there, drawing the low belly in, reaching the heart forward. And then an exhale to soften. And keeping your ankles flexed here, your feet engaged, balls of the feet pressing out. This gives us a little traction. Just a couple more breaths. Last exhale. On your inhale, rise all the way up with a flat back. So reaching the arms alongside the ears, core active. Exhale, release the hands behind your hips. Plant the palms down, fingers forward if you can. If not, turn the other way is fine. So gently leaning back onto the palms, elbows are soft. Lift the heart up here. So this may be enough. Or if you want to go a little bit deeper for your counter stretch, you can point the toes, push them down to the earth. We'll lift the hips up on the inhale. And the gaze can be at the toes, up towards the sky, or all the way back. Great, last breath in. Gently exhale, slowly release the hips to the earth. Now we'll hug the knees into the chest. Take the right arm and thread it underneath the legs. Taking hold of the left shin, we'll thread it through and step the right foot over the left shin. So preparing for our seated twist here. Now you can take it with this variation, or if you're feeling like this is too much or not comfortable here, you can extend the bottom leg, keeping the left heel in line with the left hip. So both variations are just fine. We want to stay grounded in our seat. Spine nice and tall. We'll take an inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. And exhale, twisting from the belly to the right. So the left arm can hook around the right leg or hug around the right leg. The right hand is behind the hips, almost like a second spine. So providing a little bit more support and stability. But rather than leaning back on it and rounding in the spine, putting weight into that hand, we're using that hand to press into to help us gain more length. So root the fingertips of the right hand into the earth. Feel the spine grow nice and tall. Take the breath all the way up the spine, up through the crown of the head. And then exhale from the belly to deepen your twist. And we'll stay with this movement a couple more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. So subtle when we go deeper into this shape, allowing the breath to take you there. Last exhale. On your inhale, we'll unwind, reach the arms all the way back up to the sky. And exhale for a counter twist, just going the other way for a moment to release the spine. And then coming back to neutral, uncross the legs, hug the knees back into the chest. Now take the left arm underneath the legs, take hold of the right shin and thread it through. We'll step the left foot over the right thigh. Again, the option to extend the bottom leg. We'll ground into our seat, take an inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, twist to the left. Left hand behind you, right arm hooks or hugs around the left leg. So working towards full extension in the lower back. So find some length there by inhaling, drawing the low belly in, pressing into the left fingertips. And then an exhale, drawing the breath fully out and deepening your twist. The twist originates from the belly, the rib cage, the chest, the shoulders, and then maybe the gaze. Last exhale. On your inhale, gently unwind, reach the arms all the way back up. Exhale, counter twist to the right. Just gently unwinding the spine the other way. And then coming back to neutral. Uncrossing the legs, hugging them back into the chest. And we'll take a couple seated cat-cows here just to neutralize the spine even more, to reconnect with breath and movement, ironing out any last kinks. So take an inhale, arch the spine, look up, release the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, round the spine, curling in, chin to chest. And again, inhale, arching the spine, lifting up, open the heart. Exhale, leaning back to round, curling into yourself. And last couple like that, inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, releasing. And last one on your own. On your inhale, we'll come back to neutral. And exhale, preparing to come down to your back. So come up to the top of your mat if you're not already there. We'll bring our feet hip distance apart. Spread your toes, plant the feet into the earth. Reach the arms forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, continue grounding into your feet, engage the belly, and we'll slowly lower down to our backs. So one vertebra at a time, pressing the low back down, then the mid back. Of course, if this is too much, you can use your hands to support you on your way down. From here, go ahead and extend the legs all the way out. In a moment to feel supported by the earth beneath you. Take a big breath in and a full breath out, just giving yourself completely to the earth, feeling held. On your next inhale, reach the arms overhead, point the toes, lengthen from fingertip to toe tip. Exhale, bring the right knee into your chest. Interlace the hands around the shin. Just a little shift side to side, warming up the hip. And then as you're ready, you can extend the right leg all the way up to the sky. If you'd like to use a strap here, you may place a strap around the ball of your foot and take an end in each hand to give yourself a little bit more space to work with. Otherwise, if it's available, you can interlace your hands behind the calf or the hamstring. Okay, wherever you are, keeping the chest nice and open. So the back of the neck's long, the elbows are soft, the whole spine's connected with the mat. And both legs are long and strong here. So don't forget about that bottom leg, keeping the foot flexed, the thigh active. And then gently using your arms to pull the upper leg closer to the chest. Keep the breath full here. If you notice the breath is strained or the legs starting to shake, maybe back out a little bit. Find a breath that is full and nourishing, and use that to release those tensions in your body. Let's take one more inhale here. And gently exhale. Lower your right leg all the way to the earth. Inhale, full body stretch again. Arms extends, toes point. Exhale, left knee comes into your chest. Interlace the hands around the shin and give it a squeeze and maybe a little movement side to side. Preparing for our leg stretch. If you'd like the strap again, you can place it around the ball of the left foot. Wherever you are, extending the leg all the way up to the sky. And of course, the knee can stay bent here if that feels better for you. Just noticing where the tensions are, where there's space to create more comfort and ease. And giving yourself permission to do that. And taking any strain out of the jaw, the neck, the face. Nice softening breaths to roll down the backs of the legs. And let's take one more inhale here. Exhale, gently release the strap and slowly lower the left leg all the way down to the earth. Full body stretch once more. Take the inhale from your fingertips to toe tips. Lengthen, and then exhale. Bring both knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, lower both knees to the right side. Supine twist. Open your arms out. The arms can be extended or bent at the elbows. For a more gentle version, the gaze to the right. If you want to take it deeper and that feels good and safe for your body, the gaze can be to the left. And keep the breath in the belly here. Nice detoxifying pose to wind down our practice. So allowing any heat to dissipate, allowing the breath to slow down, inviting the mind to follow. Our whole being becoming more receptive, more tuned in. And take another breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, bring your knees back into your chest. Give yourself another squeeze. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, lower both knees to the left side. Chest opens up and arms can extend or stay bent at the elbows. An option to turn your gaze to the left for more ease or to the right to deepen. Nice full breaths into the belly. One more breath in, and full breath out. Inhale, we'll bring the knees back into your chest. Exhale, give yourself a squeeze, realigning the spine on your mat. Spine returns to neutral. And we'll make our way into happy baby pose. So take the knees open wide. Reach on the insides of the legs and take hold of the outside edges of the feet with the hands. So working towards stacking the ankles over the knees. We'll keep the ankles nice and flexed. Drawing the knees down towards the side body. And again here, the chest is nice and open. So soften the elbows. Keep the back of the neck long and try to connect the whole spine against the earth. So all the way down to your tailbone. And from here you may choose to rock a little bit side to side. A little massage for the lower back to work out any last tensions. And gently allow your rocking to settle. Now release your feet, hug your knees back into your chest. One more squeeze here. And then we'll find Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle pose. So bottoms of the feet together. Feet land on the mat close into the hips. And you may find it supportive here to place a couple blocks underneath the knees. You can also place a pillow underneath your head if that feels good. And the hands can be placed somewhere nurturing over the body or out to the side with the palms facing up. So untuck the shoulder blades. Allow the back of the heart to melt towards the earth. Invite the breath to deepen. Again, finding your rhythm. And focusing all your attention to the breath so that the mind can settle too. You may choose to stay here a few more breaths if it's serving you. Otherwise, we'll all make our way into Savasana. So you can use your arms to draw the knees back together. And slowly extend one leg out along the mat. And then the other leg. You can untuck the glutes so that the lower back presses to the mat. The feet come wide and let the feet just fall open. Release the shoulder blades, arms, extend alongside the body, palms facing up. If you like props here, you may use them if that's serving you, placing a bolster or blanket underneath the knees for support. Or maybe a blanket over the body for warmth and grounding. And we allow the breath to return to its natural state here. So continue breathing in and out of the nose without any control. And inviting every part of your being to surrender. To relax completely. Nothing left to do here. Start to deepen your breath. Inviting the new energy to travel all the way down to your fingers and toes. Waking them up with a gentle movement. Maybe rocking your head side to side. And then taking a nice big full body stretch once more. Opening up the body, filling it with breath. Inhale. And then exhale, bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Gently roll over to one side, supporting yourself through this transition and moving nice and slowly. Trying to hold on to whatever stillness you've cultivated through the energy and effort of your practice. And whenever you're ready, you may push your way back up to a comfortable seated position, keeping your eyes closed if you choose. Allowing the spine to realign here, sitting up nice and tall, with new length, with new strength, both inner and outer. On your inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the sky, joining the palms at the top of your breath. And then exhale, bring the prayer down again into the heart center to seal in your practice with gratitude. Namaste.